Good morning. Welcome to Sunrise Stroll and Chat from a different location. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the Sea of Galilee on a very special location. We're up here at Mount Arbel. Take a look. This is a cliff, the cliffs of Mount Arbel. This is just a little bit of it, okay? But we'll see more later, if not today, on another day. Welcome everybody to Sunrise Stroll and Chat at the Sea of Galilee. Here from Mount Arbel view. So we're going to stroll along a little mountain path, so make sure you have the right shoes on, especially those of you in California who just got into bed to fall asleep with Sunrise Stroll and Chat. Last night I learned that there were 3 of our staff coming up here this morning, so I said I'll come with you. Isn't that beautiful on the water? That's like a little current in the water. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. This is my bag here and my stick. So I think I'm just going to stop and bring them with me. Just wait for me a second, okay? Just hold on there. We'll fix this for you. There we go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sunrise Stroll, Chat and Share at the Sea of Galilee. And we have a different perspective this morning. We're up on Mount Arbel. So now we're ready again, so be careful, don't trip. Oh, by the way, I'm not sure if I'll see them further over. Look at these thistles. For those of you who were with us a month ago or 2 months ago, you can see these thistles again. They're all dried up down at Magdala, but up here in Mount Arbel, we got quite a few of them this morning. Where are we here? There we are. You could try see if they have a scent. Look at it, isn't that beautiful? What an amazing creation. And here we have the darnel. The empty ears, no seed. The darnel that was sown among the wheat. This is Hammam, Wadi Hammam. So we'll do more about that another time. So let's head over to enjoy this incredible sunrise. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? Welcome people. Lots to explore here, people, and especially the beauty of the mystery. Do you hear the cows in the distance? We could actually walk into cows here. Right here, I saw a goat giving birth to twins. And there were a group of kids coming along. This was like 7 or 8 years ago. Right here on this path. I have to remember the exact spot. And I had to get the kids to stop. Being a farming boy, I knew how we needed not to startle the mother goat. And finally got the attention of the teacher. And she commanded the kids to stop, and they were witnesses to the birth of a little goat. A little kid goat. So we're looking down here on the plain of Genosar, which is so fertile. Migdal, the new town of Magdala, 2,000 years later, and this is a Muslim town, Wadi Hammam, at the mouth of the wadi. So when we get over to the corner, we'll have our beautiful perch over here. And then we can see a lot more. The top of Mount Hermon is still visible. I must remember to catch that right away because I think the haze will cover it very quickly. It's about 50% of what I could see earlier is already covered by haze. It's up in this direction, but I need to stop to give you a good look, and I want to get to my final perch here, or semi-final perch, so you can enjoy this incredible view. Don't forget to take your screenshots, and then don't forget to give the credit to Magdala. Let's see where we are here. Oh, this is perfect here. This is the perfect spot. I found the perfect spot for a number of reasons. Look at that, people. Just drink it in, soak it up. This is for you. This creation is for you. Isn't that marvelous? And this is Magdala right down below us. Look, there's the new guest house. We'll zero in a little later. Oh, I needed to do Mount Hermon. Let's see if we can catch Mount Hermon. It's very, very tenuous, but let's see. Let's see here. Yeah, I think I have it there, but it's very, 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 very nebulous. You see that? That dark shade that's over the brow of the hills, you see two ranges of hills, there are actually three, and then that dark range is Mount Hermon. It's in the very center of the screen. You can just make out a little darker area. On my cell phone it's about 1/4 of an inch above the level of the hills. And now you saw Mount Hermon from Mount Arbel. How about that? So here we are. Isn't that gorgeous? We're up pretty high. You see this truck down there? It looks like it has a crane on it. It's going there towards the lake. Look at all those orchards. Avocado and mango and many other wonderful crops that are harvested here every year. Such a fertile plain. It has all the water coming in from Wadi Hammam and Wadi Amud. So people have been working this for a long, long, long time. One day I must do Wadi Amud for you as well. It's a very interesting wadi. Got prehistoric settlement remains, also in caves. Majestic. So people, let's continue our reflections. Today it gets very dramatic with Elijah and Mount Carmel. In fact, to the west we would have Mount Carmel, but in this spot here I can't go that direction right now. And I just want you to see up here. Look up here. You see 3 people walking, and these are our staff. Let me see if I have them on the screen here. There, David has just gone by. Luaya's heading there. You see? And then Karen is right behind them. She's just there on the right of the rock, and she'll come out on the other side of it in a moment. Come on, Karen. It's Karen's birthday today. So she wanted to do Mount Arbel. There she comes out behind the rock. And she's enjoying this wonderful moment. So here we come, back to see the sunrise. and give you a nice shot, a nice position. So let's read from this very powerful text, which is really a foundational text in the religious history of the chosen people. And we're reading now today from the book of Kings, continuing to read from the book of Kings, and we're in chapter 18. So there was a new conflict between, or the conflict headed again between Ahab and Elijah the prophet, King Ahab, and they came to an agreement. So Ahab sent for all of the people of Israel and had all the prophets assemble on Mount Carmel. Mount Carmel is directly to our west, maybe less than an hour from here, depending on traffic, 40 minutes. Elijah appealed to all the people and he said, "How long will you straddle the issue? If the Lord is God, follow him. If Baal is God, follow him." The people, however, did not answer. Sometimes it's difficult for us to commit, and to commit in public. It's a huge challenge. So Elijah said to the people, "I am the only surviving prophet of the Lord, and there are 450 prophets of Baal. Give us 2 young bulls. Let them choose one," and then they were going to prepare for the sacrifice, but not start the fire. You know, this is in the tradition of ancient sacrifice ritual in the Middle East. "I shall prepare the other bull, you choose one, and I'll take the other one. You have the choice. And we'll both place it on wood, and we won't start the fire. Then you shall call on your gods, and I will call on the Lord. The God who answers with fire is God." All the people answered, "Agreed." So the wager is on. And then I invite you to read the text. It's a long text in 1 Kings 18. And we'll just go to a couple of essential points here. How Elijah stacks the deck against himself, against the faith in the one Creator God. So Elijah has the prophets calling on their God, and there's no answer. And then he asks all the people of Israel, "Come here to me." He repaired the altar of the Lord. He took 12 stones for the number of tribes of the sons of Jacob. He built an altar in honor of the Lord with the stones, and made a trench around the altar, large enough for 2 measures of grain. And when he had arranged the wood, he cut up the sacrifice and laid it on the wood. And he said, "Fill 4 jars with water." And he poured it over the offering. So if you want to set fire, you don't wet the wood. And he said, "Do it again, and do it a 3rd time." And the water flowed all around the altar, and the trench was filled with water. So he stacked the deck completely against himself. At the time for offering sacrifice, the prophet Elijah came forward and said, "Lord, God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known this day that you are God in Israel, and that I am your servant, and have done all these things by your command. Answer me, Lord. Answer me, that this people may know that you, Lord, are God, and that you have brought them back to their senses." The Lord's fire came down and consumed the burnt offering, the wood, the stones, and the dust. Not only did it consume the flesh and the wood, but even the stones and the dust, and it lapped up the water in the trench. Seeing all this, the people fell prostrate and said, "The Lord is God, the Lord is God." So basically, what has Elijah done? He has recalled the people to their foundational experiences. The 12 stones for the 12 tribes, the memory of coming out of Egypt, the memory of the covenant, renewing the covenant. How often that must happen in marriage, to renew the covenant. How many times there are difficulties and challenges, and there's a moment to renew the covenant, a moment of grace to renew the covenant. And that's challenging. And sometimes people straddle issues. It's very challenging. It's very tough sometimes. The renewal of the covenant. And this is in the heart of the human being, to be bonded with others, and especially bonded with God, our Creator. We can pray for that grace. We wake up every morning and the covenant is renewed with the gifts we receive in creation, in providence. Sometimes there are trials and challenges, and we pray for all the people right now who are struggling in their covenant with God, who are struggling in their family covenant, that they will be strengthened, renewed. People, my eyes just caught a flock of cows down here. I'm not sure if we can pick them up. Oh, those are bushes. Hold on a second. But right down here there are lots of cows. I can get them in the camera. I think that's one right there in the center of the screen, look. And then over to the right, between the bushes, there are 3 or 4 more, 5 more. And then further over, before the other bushes, there are more. So this is a prized treasure for people in all times, even for us on our farm. I remember one year we lost 2 cows, and that was a heavy loss for my father, for our family. And then to sacrifice a cow was a big deal. To sacrifice an animal to God was an expression of great commitment to God. There's a great call for us to renew our commitments. Sometimes we have to make sacrifices to show where we stand. A special effort to look after somebody, to show how much that person is a treasure for me. What a way to go. Here we are, people, those of you who have joined us later, overlooking Magdala from Mount Arbel, and you're participating in our daily sunrise stroll and chat here at the Sea of Galilee. And just up here to the north, although it's a little hazy, we have Capernaum. If you look there in that stretch there to your left on the screen, at the north side of the north end of the lake, there in the middle of that's Capernaum, and the Mount of Beatitudes. It's difficult to see now with the counter light and the haze, and the multiplication of the loaves, and the primacy of Peter. And then those of you who joined afterwards, let me show you the mountain here and the cliffs. Mount Arbel, in all its beauty. It's a nice hike here today. There's a very gentle, well, not gentle, it's a nice strong breeze blowing, so it's refreshing. It's not too hot yet. It will be very hot today. So this is the cliff frontage here of Mount Arbel, looking northeast, and the cliffs are much bigger further west, but we can't see them from this angle. But another time we'll catch those for you. I see our Notre Dame, our Magdala and Notre Dame staff up here on the ledge. Look at the in the center of the screen there you see David. And there are 2 others up there as well, Luai and Karen. So there are people doing a lot of work behind the scenes, so when you come, where are we here? Everything runs smoothly because of their hard work. And they're preparing very hard now for the reopening. I want to give a shout out to Margaret Peters from Australia, and she yesterday she provided a lot of links to people, and she was very generous in her efforts to reach a lot of people, connecting different churches and individuals and pastors And this is really helping to bring this beautiful morning experience all over the world. So we said thank you, Margaret. And you also asked about the guest house arrangements and the costs, and we'll get you that information. We'll put up a link for you. I think it's reservations@magdala.org. Maybe somebody can just put that there in a note right now, and you can just send an email and tell them greetings from Sunrise Stroll and Chat, and there you are. And you'll get all the information you need about arrangements for Magdala. It's very interesting that most of our groups have not cancelled for this year, that will be coming September onwards, and they're still hoping that it will be possible. So we're praying that this possibility to come and enjoy this directly will be available. So let's continue with our reading. And the psalm is Psalm 16. In the very first verse we have this: keep me safe, O God, you are my hope. Keep me safe, O God, you are my hope. You know, it's so easy to become engrossed in the beauty of creation, the pleasures of creation, the wealth of creation, the glory of creation, and forget the Creator. Forget the Creator. And so we need to renew that covenant, where we come from, the gratitude we owe. And it's not so much that God needs our gratitude, it's that we need to express it in order to be completely ourselves, to become ourselves completely. We need to go deeper in our faith, and then we can rise higher as a person. Deeper and higher. Deeper in our covenant. Stronger in our covenant, that nothing will break it. And that's the marriage covenant, right? I will hold you dearly in good times and bad times, in riches or poverty, in health or in sickness, even during the corona period. In these great difficulties, the patience that's needed. This covenant, sometimes one partner is providing 20% of the relationship and the other person 80%. And then it swings the other way around, 30-70, 70-30, 40-60. You know, it's amazing how the covenant works, how teams work as well. It works. Sometimes somebody's a little sick and the others take a little bit more of the burden, and they say, go home early, we'll finish for you, we'll clean up. How can I help you? Can I get something from the store and bring it to you? Can I make you a nice tea? You know, there's sometimes we step up to the plate and carry a little bit more of the weight. This is how covenants are lived. Also between countries. Sometimes countries go through tough times. And I would say, thanks be to God, despite all of our conflicts and problems, there's a tremendous amount of solidarity in the world, and many expressions of it between countries, between continents. And I think we have that spirit. After all the wars of the 20th century, people started saying we need to be more connected, more bonded, more together, more solidarity. And there are many, many expressions of that. And sometimes the bad news of certain conflicts overshadows the good news. And there's a lot of covenantal life on the planet. A lot of mutual support and sharing. Even in the ugliest conflicts, it's amazing the stories you hear about people bridging the divides and bridging the gaps. And that beautiful song, you know, like a bridge I will lay me down over troubled waters. You there? Keep me safe, O God, you are my hope. Lord, I am weak, and sometimes I don't live up to my part of the covenant. Maybe I'm operating at 20% right now in my relationship with you, in my relationship with a spouse, with children, with parents. Lord, renew me in my covenant. Help me to make that sacrifice that's costly for me today, so that that covenant can be renewed, so I can be back in the saddle, riding well across life, across history, across the life in the world, in society, that I am a contribution. Even if I'm lying on bed and sick, with my attitude I can cheer up all the staff, with my humor, with my good spirit, with my prayer. If I can't say a word, I can't open my eyes. There's so much pain, and in my prayer and offering of that precious sacrifice of my pain, my bereavement, my sufferings, I can be a huge contribution that's not visible, but it's absolutely real. Lord, encourage us. Keep me safe, O God. You are my hope. And then the gospel passage from the Mount of Beatitudes, and that's just up here at the north of the lake, is Jesus said to his disciples, "Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish, but to fulfill. Whoever obeys and teaches these commandments will be called greatest in the kingdom of heaven." So there's a great mystery in those words, the fullness of the mystery of Jesus himself, the eternal Word of God made flesh. So the 10 Commandments weren't abolished when Jesus said, love one another. Love God with all your heart and all your soul. That's actually part of Deuteronomy. And love your neighbor as yourself. It didn't, obviously, how are you going to love your neighbor if you kill? If you take your neighbor's wife? If you lie? If you cheat? If you steal? Loving has all that as a prerequisite. And then loving goes further. Loving takes care of the needy. People, aren't we blessed with a wonderful world? With all its challenges. Maybe even the challenges also are a huge blessing, because they help us to correct our course, to find the true balance. Mount Carmel is way over in that direction. We were talking about that today with Elijah. Here we have Wadi Hammam. We'll cover that more another day. I'm giving you, let's say, the 360-degree farewell little view right now. I suspect that I made a mistake this morning, that I started to live stream on the profile and not on the page, because I started off with 2, 3, 4 people, and then it didn't grow very much, maybe to 7. So I stopped and restarted. That was a little bit another reason for the delay this morning. I apologize for that mistake, but I know you're understanding, and I thank you for your prayers, and I thank you especially for all the sharing. Those who don't have Facebook friends of yours, send them the YouTube link. You got that a couple of times. Maybe somebody can just post it there again. And then you have the Facebook sharing and the hearts that you pump out there for the beauty of the place. All that is a big help to allow other people to be involved in this blessing. So I will say, wonderful morning. Thank you for joining us up here on Mount Arbel at Sunrise Stroll and Chat. And we look forward to the next moment when we're together again. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. May this light shine in your lives and through you into the whole world. God bless you.